Hi, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I just finished this sweet journal here. It's actually quite large. It's 7.5 by 10, so it's a really big size for one of my junk journals. And it's a book cover from the 1940s, and it was a damaged book, so it actually didn't have a back on it. So what I did is I added the back of a different book that was damaged. So this book backing is from 1929 from Chatterbox, and the front here is, of course, Pixie's Playland from 1940. So I kind of like that. So I covered up the repairs here with some vintage tea towel cloth, and I really love the color. It's got some of its staining on here, which means it was really loved and used. And it's these two little kids with the little pixies here that they're wheelbarrowing through the garden. And it's absolutely adorable. There's lots of vintage beads on here. I think it's just sweet. And let me take you on a little journey with this journal to show you all the authentic antique and vintage ephemera and all the little treasures I've stuffed inside here. There's quite a few. And then I'll put it in my Etsy shop for all to see. Okay, hyperstamper.etsy.com, and look at that first original inside page. It's adorable. And you know how much I love squirrels. We've got these little fairies here, these little fairy pixies, adorable. This here is two different pieces of vintage crochet that I made into a pocket. And look at this exquisite postcard. This is dated 19, they wrote the date on here, I believe 19. So no, this one I researched, and it is definitely 1909, and it is German made. They make the best postcards in the early 1900s, and this is called a gold edge style. It does have gold all throughout. It's just beautiful, and I love this crackle here and the way the two corners of the pages have flipped up. And it says, "To greet you on your birthday." I love it. Sweet little message on the back to Lottie in Iowa. And then over here, I've got a little pocket made out of a vintage button card from Woolcrest, and one of Paige's Melmar coupons, which I love, we think from the 50s. I've done some research, and I think that's where they're from. This is a great 1970s paper art page, which I really like them. And then this is another antique book page here, and one of these wonderful early 1900s workbook pages on cursive writing, and you can see the little practice pieces down here. And I just love the different fonts and the different styles they do of those. I find those pages absolutely fascinating. And I got this from a vintage newspaper ad, and it just looked like an envelope, so I put it onto a card and made it into a journaling card. And this here, I didn't attach it with glue because somebody may want to actually use this or do something precious with it. It'd be beautiful even in a frame, but it is a handmade doily. The work in it is absolutely amazing. So the lucky owner of this journal gets that little precious handmade lace doily. And that's all on top of an antique music sheet. And this is a vintage collectible sticker card for children. And this is a wildlife one. And she's got the whale there. The first, or yeah, what one is that? It's in French. It's in French. It's in French. Looks like a blue whale to me. Fun cluster. This is from the Chatterbox book. So it's from 1929, and it's a pear soap advertisement. It almost looks like it's brand new, but it is not. It is actual, almost 100 years old. And then this is a 1920s tape measure, cloth tape measure. And I know it's from 1920 because it was on the metal casing of the tape measure. I love it. It's the last one I have, and I just love it so much. And then I showed you those fun advertisements, and this is just a great mid-century song portfolio cover, "Dancing the Devil Away," and then the song here is "I'll Never Have to Dream Again," a waltz. I just think that's wonderful. And then we have another great photograph in here. Now, my grandma had a hat exactly like that. She's got her fur collar on, her little purse, and May 3rd, 1950. And then this here is just the sweetest little Mother's Day card with the flowers inside the umbrella from Hazel and Enid to their mother. And then you can pull this open if you want, but I just wanted to show you the mechanism inside that is actually holding this little toothpick. They used a toothpick here for the wooden handle, and I just think that's so adorable. And that was in their scrapbook, so there's glue on the back of that. And an early 1900s Beatrix Potter, Peter Rabbit, double-sided plate there, stunning. And I put the page that goes with it so they could be a pair again. And this is a really fun 100, I believe it's 100 years old, exactly. Look at this, gorgeous. So just some beautiful design work there, how to make arrangements. It's stunning. I would put that on my mantle any day. If I had a mantle, I would do that. Oh, that's funny. That is just a really fun 1940s children's book page, more paper art of an owl. It's an 1850s Hogarth etching on steel. And this is just a little 1970s, it is 50 years old plus, a little book. And I just thought it fun to put a children's book inside a children's book. So double whammy there, fun children's pocket. This is an early 1900s Birds of North America book. It's one of the few color plates that are in the book, and it's double-sided. So bonus, it's absolutely stunning, including the mockingbird there, the catbird. I love it. Theater Arts from, I believe, 1940. And this is one of these awesome 100-year-old Alice in Wonderland pages through the looking glass. Little 1920s pocket here. And then I made this little booklet here just out of my antique and vintage scraps. So more journaling there. And look at this from the 1920s. This is wow, I really stuffed a lot in this journal. These are beautiful. They're called bar loops. See them there? Aren't they sweet? And yeah, I just love the graphics. I love the color on it. Just a really fun piece. Somebody will have fun making something out of that or just enjoying it the way it is. This is from 1927. It's a bit brittle, so I did put antique cardstock on the back from 1904 English Garden. Just a really beautiful piece there. Another plate. This is also, gosh, I think this one is also from about 1919, 1920. And that's called the Mountain Trail. That's in Europe. Storytime Neighbors, 1940s. And this is just a little journaling spot here in that little pocket. And another fun EduCard. That's obviously got the bunny there, number 1. And 1930s Flinch card, number 7. Lucky number 7. And we've got a 1970s receipt there and a hand-typed 1800s research paper. And then one of these 1940s or 50s learn how to play bridge cards. There we go. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And then I made this pocket here out of this vintage tab folder from an index box, and then a 1950s, I think there's 2 here. Ah, bonus, 2 Pearl Shop receipts. I only meant to put 1 in, the owner gets 2. And this is such a sweet 1897 plate, and I should go much better if you would be kind to me, said one donkey to the other. That was sweet. And then this is also early 1900s Making Your Own Garden book. Look at these gorgeous poppies down here. One of my favorites. Oh my God, chrysanthemums, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 1955 stamp collector's book page, and another 1920s children's book page here. We've got, it looks like the same picture, but you can find the differences, and that's all mounted on top of an early 1900s postcard album page. Really beautiful piece here, vintage piece. And then this is just really cool. It's also from the late 1800s. It's how to make corrugated cardboard toys. That's really cool. So I left it as is in case somebody wanted to make something out of that. I have this early 1900s plate here. This is cool. It just fell out of a school book. So obviously Ellen was practicing her name and typing miss you, but it's just a blank sheet of school paper. There's a little bit more writing there, but I'm thinking it's about or about the 1930s, because that's when the school book was from that I found it in. And I love that it's the pen and quill, so I put a vintage quill here. Could be antique, but it looks more vintage to me, probably from the 30s or 40s. There's an airmail stamp, vintage from the States, and an 1890s arithmetic page with journaling paper on the back, and a 1950s Lone Ranger plate there. Monopoly money to journal on the back of again. And there's a really cool old stamp there from the 1940s. And yeah, I just love that. High Roads of the Empire history. Here's a really fun Iowa postcard from 1909. 1909. Wow, that's in really good shape. The YMCA. Isn't that beautiful? And a sweet little message on the back. And this little pocket down here I made out of a book cover. It's cloth book cover. And then we've got more of those same pages. I love this with the quad photos here. English. And then this is from a 1940s Raggedy Ann book. Look at how sweet Raggedy Ann is lifting her friends up into the window. And then they're all taking their bedtime goodbyes there. This is really cool. This is from 1940s, and it's a book on square dance calls. Now, I have used some of the pages in other journals, but I left the originals and a few in there, so I'll show you those. That's a vintage book page pocket. And this came from an early 1900s recipe book. Look at that. Raised bread and biscuits. How to make dry toast. Oh my, that's funny that that's a recipe, because that's all you get at my house. Never come for dinner at my house. Okay, yeah, so there's the original first page. We've got a typing lessons page from the 40s, vintage Trees of North America page. And then here's another one of these wonderful quad plates. This is a little bit different. This is all scenes from Switzerland. And that is a beautiful color plate from the early 1900s. Just some blank, mostly blank journaling pages there from antique books. And an antique plate here as well. There's some of those square dance calls. Pretty fun. Look at the long dresses they're wearing. The boys are all dressed up. I didn't, that just cracks me up. And it's from Amarillo, Texas.